Hello and welcome. I'm Barkha Dutt and you're with the Mojo Story, our independent digital platform that does a deep dive into the big stories of the day. On the program today, we're looking at the Tamil Nadu election and the dramatic surprise announcement by Sasikala to quit politics. Can this be a game changer? Now remember, Sasikala has done this in the hope of keeping the AIADMK cadre united and not split. But is it too little too late? With all surveys predicting an advantage for the DMK Congress-led alliance, this at a time when, of course, the state is battling its own politics. There is also a rift in the DMK Congress talks. And where does all of this leave the BJP, if at all? Those are some of the questions before us today as we introduce our panel on the program. And let me introduce them one by one. We're joined by R.K. Radhakrishnan, who's, of course, a veteran journalist. Welcome to the program. We're joined by Khushbu, who's a leader of the BJP. Welcome to the program, ma'am. We're joined by Sumanth Raman, who's a well-known political analyst. Welcome to the program. We're also joined by Saravanan Annadurai, who's a spokesperson for the DMK. Welcome to the program. And we'll soon be joined by Kovai Sathyan, spokesperson of the AIADMK as well. Let me start with you, Mr. Radhakrishnan, as we wait for the AIADMK person to representative to join us. How do you see this dramatic announcement by Sasikala? And many people believe that it's just temporary. It's to try and not have a split in the AIADMK cadre, but it won't really make much of a difference to the outcome of what is happening.
Yeah, it's actually a sensible decision. It removes a lot of thorns on the way of the AIADMK BJP alliance. Now, if she is going to persist and keep talking about unity, then there is always the problem that where do you accommodate Sasikala in a setup where the AIADMK is already leadership is positions are already filled, EPS and OPS are not going to give up their positions and whatnot. Now, it makes sense for her looking at from her side also, because this election is not actually her election. This is not something that she needs to or wants to fight, because once these elections are over and if the AIADMK does not do well, then the party can as well be hers, because she can then say that, you guys couldn't do it. You guys were fighting amongst yourselves. And now to save the party, I am coming in. Remember, she has only announced a withdrawal from the party and she has not said that she's quitting politics. I mean, she's quitting politics at all. Now she has completely withdrawn. And now again, you'll have to see one more drama which will happen on March 15th, when she will say that she is not going to contest in court the position of the AIADMK General Secretary, which is right now going to come up for hearing on March 15th.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask you that. Just 10 days ago, you had Sasikala and her nephew Dinakaran actually revive that civil suit for control of the AIADMK. So what has transpired in 10 days? How did this all happen? What do you think was the trigger? And can we please connect to Mr. Kovai Sathyan of the AIADMK in the meantime? We really urgently need him as we're discussing the future of his party. Go ahead, Mr. Radhakrishnan.
Yeah, I'm very sure that, she wanted to come into politics. It's very clear by the way the road show and the subsequent statements and the fact that she said that everybody has to be together, and her insistence that she is the General Secretary of the party. Now, what happened subsequently is what some journalists have been writing about, that there were people who went to her and told her that for this election, she needs to sit this one out, because, otherwise it will be a huge embarrassment for the BJP, which prides itself as being a party which does not tolerate corrupt elements, which does not, especially since she just come out of jail after a conviction in the disproportionate assets case. So that cannot be glossed over. So keeping her out actually works for the BJP, and it also works for the alliance, because they don't need to defend her at all, knowing very well that the DMK will be attacking this particular aspect of Sasikala and the DMK and the AIADMK itself, because Sasikala is a huge liability for the AIADMK. From Sasikala's part, it's a smart decision to take, because if she sits this one out and if the AIADMK loses, which in all probability it will, we will see that Sasikala is in a better wicket to actually claim ownership of the party and say that I am the person who will be saving the party, not EPS, who probably will.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So before I come to Mr. Saravanan Annadurai, let me just get Khushbu of the BJP to respond to that. That many people do see a BJP hand in Sasikala's sudden exit. Khushbu, you're a veteran politician. You've been with the Congress. You're now with the BJP, but you know your state. How do you see what's happened with Sasikala?
I think it was a decision personally taken by Sasikala. I don't know why people keep blaming BJP. Rajinikanth not entering politics is because of BJP. Sasikala is deciding to quit politics is because of BJP. And at one point they say that the BJP is absolutely non-starter in Tamil Nadu. So I think the opposition needs to get a very clear picture whether BJP is a non-starter in Tamil Nadu or BJP is a force to reckon with where they can influence people like Rajinikanth or Sasikala to quit politics. So they have to take a decision on that. As far as we know, we do not influence people. We always say it's an open party and anybody can join hands with us when it comes to serving the country in the right way and taking the country forward. Having said that, I think the decision taken by Shashikala, she's very clearly stated that she wants to keep the AIDMK united. She wants to see to it that DMK is defeated. And that's the reason why she has quit politics.
Okay, you raise an interesting question that if the BJP is so irrelevant in Tamil Nadu, how has it influenced the decisions or the choices of Sasikala and Rajinikanth? By the way, as a matter of interest, Mr. Annadurai, we just got a message from Mr. Kovai Sathyan that he, as soon as he heard me talk about Sasikala, he actually left the program. I thought we had lost the line to him, but he left the program because he doesn't want to talk about Sasikala, which goes to show how much confusion there is in the ranks of the AIADMK. And I'm sure you'd like to talk about that, but very briefly, if Radhakrishnan, you want to respond to Khushbu's point that if the BJP is a big zero in Tamil Nadu, how does it influence stalwarts like Rajinikanth and Sasikala? If you just want to take that.
What we have seen, who are the people who went to meet Rajinikanth? We see only the right-wing people who are going to meet Rajinikanth, talking to him and whatnot. It's not like the others don't want him in politics. We've seen in '96 when all these leaders, when he went and met Karunanidhi, Moopanar met him, and a lot of other leaders also met him. In fact, he has been in constant touch with all these leaders for the longest period of time. But what we see is before the 2014 election, Narendra Modi going to meet him. Then he does meet Amit Shah and Narendra Modi at a function in the Daily Tandi, I think Silver Jubilee or something. And then he goes and makes statements like they are like Arjunan and Krishnan and all of that. So in all, what you see is that there is a lot of right-wing influence, especially with Gurumurthy trying to influence the decisions and wanting him to come into politics and whatnot. And this is all in an open chapter. In fact, Gurumurthy has spoken about it. Rajini at some point has spoken about it. And the people with Rajini itself.
So you do see a BJP. I'll ask Sumanth the same, but I want to go to Saravanan Annadurai first. Saravanan Annadurai, two questions to you. One, the rift in the DMK Congress, it matters more to the Congress, less to the DMK. Obviously, the stakes are much higher. And two, do you see Sasikala's exit as some sort of game changer? Does it restore any energy to the AIDMK, whose spokesperson left before this program started because he got so nervous talking about Sasikala?
See, that shows everything. That answers all the questions that you asked me. Sasikala is, as far as a political situation in the state is concerned, electoral politics is concerned, she is irrelevant. Because DMK has been attacking, not Sasikala, we have been attacking Mr. Edappadi Palanichami and their disastrous policies along with the BJP. Both of them joined together and betrayed the interest of the people of Tamil Nadu. We had seen Mr. Modi raising a great hullabaloo over the rise of price of the petrol, diesel and LPG. Where is he now? The AIADMK government, which is in alliance.
But you know, the pictures you're seeing on your screen, you said Sasikala is in irrelevance. That is when she traveled with her cavalcade from Bangalore to Chennai, and those are sizable numbers. And clearly, there's an aim to not split the AIADMK base, which is what would have happened had she not made this announcement. This sets the stage for rapprochement. This sets the stage for a rapprochement, as you know, Mr. Annadurai. So why do you say that she's irrelevant?
See, because she cannot contest. She cannot contest in the elections in the next 6 years. And I don't think she's such a tall leader so that, people are going to vote for whomever she shows her hand. What has she done for the state of Tamil Nadu? Maybe she has some caste following. Probably that is going to be irrelevant. In the state of Tamil Nadu, caste politics do not matter. Maybe at a very, very small level. But when the trend is different, when the trend is against the AIADMK and the BJP, the theme of this election is the betrayal of the BJP and the AIADMK. Everything else becomes irrelevant. How they have tried to undermine the rights of the people of Tamil Nadu, how they pushed the Hindi agenda, how they pushed the Hindutva majoritarian agenda inside the state of Tamil Nadu. That is going to be the election. And
okay, and you're saying Sasikala is an irrelevance.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, I'll let Khushbu respond to that, but I just want to bring in Sumanth. So Sumanth, like, by the way, Mr. Saravanan, you did not answer what's happening with the DMK and the Congress. Do you expect that seat sharing to go through? We believe the Congress chief broke down in tears because he felt so insulted. Can you confirm that he cried?
All that rumors. BJP and Congress is an ideological.
But you have a naughty smile on your face, which makes me feel it must have happened.
No. See, I'll explain it to you.
Khushbu?
We are having an ideological alliance.
Trying to say something?
4 years. Last 4 years. The Congress and the AIADMK party,
I'll just let Khushbu interject briefly. Yeah, Khushbu?
I said my personal feel because I heard the news and I know what is the truth behind it. But Saravanan, I'll keep my lips sealed because that's your internal problem, not my problem anymore. So I'll let you answer that.
Okay, Saravanan, go ahead. What's happening with the seat sharing talks?
See, when it comes to Congress, we are having an ideological alliance. We have been together for the last 4 years. We have been fighting issue after issue against the BJP and the Congress. And that alliance is not going to be broken by a tiff over a few number of seats. It's not going to happen. In 2019, we projected Mr. Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate. So we gave them 10 seats. We endorsed, our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, endorsed Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and the people of Tamil Nadu said, yes, we approve that. And now it is the turn of our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin. Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, Mr. M.K. Stalin is going to be the next chief minister. Congress has endorsed the chief ministerial candidate of our leader. So there will be adjustments to make. That will be made. Okay. These things will happen.
So you believe this will be ironed out? You believe this will be ironed out?
Absolutely.
All right.
There's no doubt about that.
All right. So, let's bring you in on two sort of developments that are taking place parallel. What's happening with the AIADMK and what's happening between the DMK and the Congress? Your take.
Yeah. First of all, with what is happening with the exit of Sasikala, I think it's going to be significant in as far as about 20 to 25 seats. Look, I'm going a bit with the 2019 Lok Sabha elections where the AIADMK of Mr. Dinakaran and Sasikala polled more than 10% of the vote in 3 districts.
Can we bring up the numbers, please?
So because of that, now that roughly is around 20 assembly seats if you take a few other districts as well. Now, while it was not enough for them to win anything, obviously it took away this 10% predominantly from the AIADMK's vote. Now, in an assembly election, which is forecast to be much tighter than the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, almost we are sure that this is not going to be a repeat of 2019 Lok Sabha polls. How much tighter it's going to be is the only question. Now, in such an election, these 20 to 25 seats where the AIADMK could still have 5%, 8%, 10% vote share could have an impact. Beyond that, I agree entirely that Sasikala does not have a huge electoral impact. The second is the morale of the AIADMK cadre.
But could there have been what in the north is called the vote katua effect, which is splitting the vote impact, and that is what it's aimed at, to not split the AIADMK vote?
Absolutely. The BJP was very clear that they did not want their alliance vote to be cut or split by the AIADMK. In fact, they have been pretty vocal about that particular aspect as well. Now, the only question was how were they going to go around and achieve this objective? And now it seems to have been clear that they have got her to stay away, at least as far as the elections are concerned. I agree entirely that this is not a permanent decision. If the AIADMK wins, then it's going to be very difficult for her to find a way back politically. But if the AIADMK loses, she could still have an opportunity to take control of the party, though I don't think that's going to be easy for her. Now,
is there any other surprises that could still happen, Sumanth, that would take away the advantage that literally every political pundit and every political journalist believe exists for the DMK Congress alliance? Most people believe M.K. Stalin will be the next chief minister. Could what Sasikala has decided change that at all?
It will certainly have an impact. As I said, in about 15 to 20 seats, it could potentially change the result in about 8 to 10 seats. That's not a huge number, agreed. And I still feel that the DMK Congress has an edge, but what was looking to be a landslide a month and a half ago is now looking to be a very, very tight fight. There was an opinion poll by a local TV channel, which which said that there had been a 9% surge in the popularity of the chief minister between December 2020 and February 2021. There's also been a lot of announcements that have been made, 10.5% internal reservation for the one-year community, which is targeted by the PMK and the AIADMK alliance significantly. The grouping together of a group of communities called the Devendra Kula Vellalar. So the chief minister has come up with multiple announcements and it has boosted his popularity. Now, is it enough to get them over the line? I don't think so as yet.
But you're saying the contest has become tight. Let me get Saravanan to respond to that, and then Khushbu. Just
can I also add on the DMK Congress combined? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, this is the rumor that I heard, and I'm not going to the specifics, but a very senior Congress leader came in for the former chief minister came in for the first round of talks, and apparently the first round of talks lasted all of about 15 minutes or something, and the Congress delegation left in a huff. In fact, they did not even meet the media immediately, but subsequently the state Congress chief did meet the media, and very little was said. And from what I heard was that this former chief minister was absolutely livid with the manner in which they were spoken to. And at that point of time, I think Mr. Saravanan will not confirm this, the offer of something like 16 or 18 seats was made to the Congress, which they felt was hugely insulting, considering they were given 41 seats last time. So at the end of that, I've never heard of a seat sharing talk, any round, lasting 10 minutes or 15 minutes. At the end of that, they were extremely upset. I don't know about the tears in Mr. Adhikari's eyes.
Doesn't really need, the tears in Mr. Adhikari's eyes.
I don't know about the truth of the tears in Mr. Adhikari's eyes. But look, Barkha, I think it's absurd if the DMK thinks they're going to win on their own without the Congress. The Congress may not win much. They can sink the DMK in at least 25 seats in southern Tamil Nadu. If the DMK is going to turn down this alliance for the sake of 4 or 5 seats, God help them.
So 2 points that Saravanan needs to come in on. One, that the contest has narrowed, that Sasikala's exit can make a difference in a finite number of seats, that EPS is, there is a factor to him that he's not a total non-entity, and the DMK cannot afford to win this state without the Congress. Saravanan, go ahead.
Yeah. See, first and foremost, all the analysts and senior journalists have now taken fascination for the administrative skills of Mr. Edappadi Palanichami. Yeah. Apart from that, there is this news channel which has published a sample poll, and it has given that his popularity has surged so much in the last 2 months or so. That is a bogus claim. This is the channel which gave that we will not be able to win a landslide in 2019. We won a landslide in 2019. And again, a similar sample poll. This one more thing, which is AVPC voter or something, which has given a much higher vote share, which says that we are going to win. The combine is going to win in more than 160 seats, around 160 seats. If any one of these two, if we take this AVPC voter, then it shows a trend. This trend is only going to go in one direction, that is in favor of the DMK. And
can you win Tamil Nadu? 2 questions to you. Can you win Tamil Nadu without the Congress, in your opinion, if it comes to that? And has Sasikala's exit made the contest closer? Just answer yes or no for both.
I don't think I'll be able to do that. See, from 1967, we have been always having rainbow alliances. Ours is inclusive politics. We want to include as many people who are aligned with our ideology as possible. So this rumor mongering, that I heard this rumor, if this is true, if that is true, is aimed at trying to demoralize, but they're not going to succeed. Okay. It may go on.
Can you win Tamil Nadu without the Congress, in your opinion?
We are going to win.
Can you win it without the Congress? Can you win it without the Congress?
That question is not going to arise at all.
Okay.
We are going
all right.
to win
Someone
with our
brief interjection. I need to go to Khushbu, but brief interjection. Yeah,
very brief interjection. And that was about the point that he made about DMK always believing in rainbow alliances. That's true. They believed in alliances as far as the election goes. But once they capture power, the allies will sit outside the government. They will not have any say in the government. So it's a very nice kind of arrangement where the allies can do all the electoral work for the DMK and help the DMK win, and then watch for 5 years as the DMK.
Okay, Saravanan, hang on. I need to go to Radhakrishnan and to Khushbu. Khushbu, to you. Is the BJP a factor at all, or are you just riding on the bandwagon of the AIADMK here and hoping like hell that what Sumanth is saying is true, that there is a kind of narrowing of the gap here?
Definitely, there's a big narrowing of the gap. I don't think DMK even holds a chance to win the election this time.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because people are not happy. I mean, Mr. Saravanan is talking about 2019. You look at 2016 when everybody said that DMK is going to come to power and there's no way Jayalalitha is going to win. But you see the kind of landslide victory what she had in 2016 alone. Back to back, she won and she made a history. So it is there for people to see. Polling, exit polls or any of these polls, what you see, pre-polls, nothing helps. It's finally the voting pattern of the people who they decide to vote on the voting day. So we will know only on the 2nd of May who's going to win. But as far as we are concerned, the kind of policy and the alliance what we have with the AIADMK, it is absolutely clear what we are working on and how we are taking the country forward. Do
you see Sasikala as a factor, Khushbu? Do you, with your understanding of Tamil Nadu politics?
What is between Sasikala and AIADMK is a completely internal issue. We have nothing to do with that. Her decision for not contesting, for not being part of the electoral politics, it's her decision. She wants to make sure that DMK falls and it does not win this election. We welcome that decision. But apart from that, AIADMK is united and the alliance what we are talking about, the NDA alliance, is definitely going to happen and is strong. Nowhere you would have seen, even the gossip mongers are not talking about the kind of insult or unpleasantry manner with the way they have spoken to each other during the talks of the AIADMK and BJP. So I think it's a very, very strong.
But Khushbu, if there is DMK versus Congress, in the AIADMK, it's AIADMK versus Dinakaran, right? And that is what is Sasikala trying to stop. So there are fissures in both sides. There are fissures and divides on both sides of the divide.
No. I'm saying, see, AIADMK and AIADMK is what is personal to them. Whether Sasikala, 15 March, it's going to be decided whether she is going to be part of being the General Secretary of AIADMK or not. That is, again, very personal to them. We cannot even comment on that. But right now, we have EPS and OPS, the CM and the Deputy CM, working together. And let me tell you, if you think that if Saravanan thinks that it is a false attitude of or the false claim of a particular channel saying that EPS's vote bank or his popularity has surged, then he's absolutely wrong, because that's the reality which is staring them in their faces. The kind of popularity, yes.
All right. Let me put that to Mr. Radhakrishnan. Has a set of factors, in fact, changed the popularity of EPS?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. The factor is a political strategist called Sunil, who has been advising him, and he was part of Narendra Modi's campaign in UP as well, and he did well. They won UP as well. So the entire change of image and Edapadi's new found confidence is thanks to Sunil. Of course, Edapadi himself believes that he's up for the job. That's number one. Number two, like there is a fissure in the DMK Congress alliance, there are serious internal divisions within the AIADMK. I don't know how that can be glossed over. See, Edapadi Palanichami and a few ministers like Jaykumar, CV Shanmugam and a couple of others have spoken so vehemently against Sasikala, whereas 10 plus ministers have not even made a comment. OPS has not said a single word. The health minister, Vijay Bhaskar, has not said a single word. Rajendra Balaji, Dindikal Srinivasan, RB Uday Bhaskar, all the senior leaders have kept completely shut on the issue of Sasikala doing anything. Sasikala
but Radhakrishnan, EPS is against her re-entry despite her claim. He's saying no, she's not coming anywhere near the party. So you're saying that there are fissures in the AIADMK camp over Sasikala.
Absolutely.
Very serious ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are serious issues within the party itself, and it has to do with the caste lobbies which is operating within the party itself. Now, how these caste lobbies will gel, whether EPS caste will gel with OPS caste, we still don't know. Unless Dinakaran comes into the equation, unless they opt Dinakaran into the equation, it's very, very difficult for the AIADMK to make significant headway during these elections. The point happens to be that there are serious differences within the AIADMK, and those differences are being glossed over. That is one part of it. Second part of it happens to be that there is BJP, there is a feeling in Tamil Nadu that BJP is breathing down AIADMK's neck, and as AIADMK has been forced to do a lot of things that the BJP wants it to do in the state. Now, let us not go into details, but the fact happens to be that this is a state which takes a lot of pride in standing up for oneself and doing what is right for Tamil Nadu. That is how 2019 was won. The only reason 2019 was won was because of this, claim of Adimai Arasu, that is a slave government, going and being a slave to Delhi. That is something that will not sell in the state of Tamil Nadu. You should be seen as standing up to the center, and that is the way to victory in Tamil Nadu.
I can see Khushbu very animatedly wanting to respond. So if we can just come out of these pictures and go straight to her. Go ahead, Khushbu. Yeah, I'll come to you, Saravanan. Yeah.
Saying that Adimaigal, I think it's time that we come back and say that it's time to put an end to dynasty politics. Look at DMK, look at Congress. The invite is happening because everybody wants their son or daughters to contest now. They're wanting seats for them. So we need to not do slavery. There's nobody called slave here. The slavery, this is the same words used by you, Mr. Radhakrishnan, when Jayalalitha was ruling, that it's a slavery AIADMK. These are the words you had used against Jayalalitha, and now you use it against BJP. There's no slavery here. It's like betterment, how the policies of the government of India has come maximum to Tamil Nadu. It's not about slavery government. It's about dynasty politics, which people are tired about, whether it is about India or Tamil Nadu. Okay, we do not want any kind of dynasty politics, and this is what is troubling the state.
Okay, I need to take last comments, Saravanan. I'll start with you. Yes.
Dynasty. I don't know why Madam Khushbu is forgetting Amit Shah's son Jai Shah, Jayant Sinha. The list is long in BJP. The dynastic legislators.
I think Khushbu trying to say something. Yes, Khushbu. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Let me complete. So it is full of dynasts in the BJP too. And why are they not talking about as though that is the most impressing issue? Definitely, the people of Tamil Nadu will vote for BJP because they have given a big gift of the petrol price and diesel price and LPG price. What have they done?
You're being sarcastic, right? For a moment, I thought you had a slip of the tongue saying people of Tamil Nadu are going to vote for the BJP. I thought, have I heard right? Or what has happened here, right? So that was funny. But Khushbu, even you're smiling. So even you were confused for a moment, right? Khushbu?
Yeah. So let me see.
Sorry.
Let me complete this. See, apart from this, the way the BJP has been steamrolling. See, whatever policy that is implemented in Uttar Pradesh is implemented in the state of Tamil Nadu. We take pride that we are separate. We take pride in our language. But they are imposing Hindi, and the AIADMK government has been silent on that. They've allowed Hindi imposition go untrammeled. Apart from that, all they have seen this BJP government is seen as someone who does not respect the feelings of Tamils with respect to need, and this is a place of social justice. They ensure that the reservation policy, we follow 69% reservation policy, that is not implemented at every possible opportunity. They put spokes on that. They want to ensure that 69% is not implemented everywhere. And apart from all these things, if we take the Kaveri issue, the BJP is in support of Karnataka government. The Supreme Court said, bring the water management board, which will have control over the shutters of the reservoirs. They said yes, and 2 days later they came and said, no, we will not do it. Now they formed a government, formed a board which does not have any teeth. We are back to square one. If there is any water dispute, it is the Karnataka government which will decide whether the shutters will be opened or not. This is the kind of betrayal the BJP has done for the people of Tamil Nadu, and they want to see quotes, and they are confident that they are going to win. Good luck to their confidence.
Okay. I really do have to start closing. Khushbu, your last word.
I think it's time for people to see the kind of false propaganda Congress and DMK are doing about imposition. It's not there. Your children can learn any number of languages they want to, but this imposition of language is a false propaganda, and even you and DMK people know about it very clearly. People are not fools to understand that there's the imposition of Hindi. You still speak Tamil. There is still Tamil everywhere. Still Tamil is your state language. Tamil remains your mother tongue. So there's no changes in that. As far as everything else is concerned, you will see we are talking about Kaveri. There's no Kaveri issue now. When the problem arises, we'll look into it then. So let's not even discuss Kaveri, Saravanan. But I will say that May 2nd is when people will realize that which government is going to give them a better government.
Okay, Suman. Sorry, let me just unmute you because...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Two quick points. Just one on Mr. Dinakaran, which was mentioned earlier. Mr. Dinakaran on his own will find it very difficult to claim that he is AIADMK without Sasikala's some kind of moral authority, because she was the one who was in the AIADMK with Jayalalitha. Mr. Dinakaran was expelled and he was not even a part of AIADMK until she died. So that's going to be very, very difficult for him on his own. And mind you, Sasikala has not endorsed Dinakaran. She's not said, please vote for AMMK. She's not explicitly said that. So that's point number one. Point number two, I think where the BJP AIADMK government has, BJP party and the AIADMK have failed is in controlling the media narrative. You saw a lot of what Saravanan said about reservation being taken away and all that. Now, none of it has actually happened. Yes, reservation which never existed earlier was not brought in now. For instance, PG medical seats, All India quota, 15%. It was never there from 2007 and it wasn't there during BJP government too. But the big advantage is the opposition in Tamil Nadu has an extremely friendly media. Just like national media is completely in the pocket of the BJP, the exact opposite prevails in Tamil Nadu. So that has helped them set this narrative.
Okay,
BJP is out to destroy the Tamil language. They're going to be taking away the culture is going to be threatened. None of it actually, I've gone through this in detail.
I'll allow Saravanan a brief interjection and then I'll close with Mr. Radhakrishnan. Yes, Saravanan.
Yeah. See, it's none of them is imaginary. I'm talking about this reservation. See, we Tamil Nadu government said, for one instance, in Anna University, 2 courses were scrapped because Tamil Nadu government insisted on 69% reservation. We'll have to rush to the court. The Tamil Nadu government was a mute spectator. 2 prestigious courses, PG courses on engineering was
I think someone's trying to say something. I think I'll control
No, just a moment. So that is because the pressure from the BJP. This government did not act at all. The vice chancellor had the temerity to cancel the courses, stop the courses. 25 years it was running.
I'm very sorry, Barkha, but that is completely untrue. But this is the narrative that has gone out throughout Tamil Nadu. Everyone believes this story throughout Tamil Nadu. You know the fact.
Everyone wants to come in at the end of time.
Let me tell you the fact. Let me tell you the fact.
When he was speaking,
okay, but give me time to rebut.
Okay, Saravanan.
Give me time to rebut.
Yes. I'll tell you what we'll do, because we're on a clock here. 30 seconds, Saravanan, 30 seconds, Sumanth, 30 seconds, Khushbu, and a minute to Mr. Radhakrishnan, because he's been waiting patiently for all of you to stop arguing. Saravanan, your 30 seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. See, we had this excavation site at Kiladi. It spoke about a civilization that was one of the oldest civilizations. The central government stopped the funds. The central government said, we are not going to excavate. If this is not an assault on the culture, what else is?
Okay. Sumanth.
Barkha, my 30 seconds. First, let's nail this lie. This biotechnology department had 2 courses which had never had 69% reservation since the 1980s, when that course has been conducted, because it was funded by the Department of Biotechnology of the Government of India, and therefore Government of India reservation rules applied. Not 1 year since the 1980s, and DMK has been in power for 15 years after that period.
Now you both.
So, but I'll tell you one thing. They have succeeded in taking this narrative. Everyone in Tamil Nadu believes that BJP has taken away the reservation there.
Khushbu.
All I would like to say is thank you very much. People are discussing BJP in Tamil Nadu. They said BJP is nowhere in Tamil Nadu. It's never going to win in Tamil Nadu. Never be heard if they were in Tamil Nadu. It will never make it big in Tamil Nadu. But here we are in every discussion, every panel, every day, morning and evening, with the DMK.
The big brother there. That is because you are the big brother there, and with your muscle power, with your money power, with your bureaucratic power, you are threatening the existence of our culture. That is the problem.
Let her make her point. Yes, Khushbu, make your point, please.
Thank you very much for appreciating and acknowledging that, yes, BJP has arrived in Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Mr. Radhakrishnan, you get the last word. This will carry on.
See, as of now, this is nowhere near a close election. If DMK manages to close with the Congress, this is still an election where DMK is going to win by a mile. you look at 2019, of course, it's not 2019 any longer. I also realize it's 2021. If 38 seats in 2019 converts into, assembly segments and all of that, we see that Congress DMK wanted 216 assembly segments. That is happens to be a fact. We are not talking about 2019. Obviously, there has been a change in scenario. There is
on the same day there were 22 assembly by-elections. On the same day of 2019,
Sumanth,
39.
Sumanth, this is his time now. Let him speak.
Okay.
39. Please
Sumanth, let him speak.
Keep quiet. See, in Tamil Nadu, in what we have seen in elections, by-elections, is that by and large the ruling party has always won. We've seen that in subsequent elections also. Ruling party always wins in these elections. It's barring R.K. Nagar, barring this 9 constituency. So that's nothing new. But 2021 is still a very, very easy election for the DMK and Congress if they manage to close out without the kind of bitterness that is happening as of today.
Barkha, we have 10 seconds. 10 seconds, Barkha, 10 seconds.
Will lead to a cycle of
on the same day as 2019 Lok Sabha elections, voters cast their vote in the assembly by-elections. Same day, same booth. 38-1 in the Lok Sabha election, 13-9 in the assembly by-elections. 13-9.
Okay, 10 seconds. Saravanan, your 10 seconds.
Yeah, so in 2019, the biggest tagline of our party is throw the BJP government in the center, the AIADMK government goes automatically. That is the tagline that is the premise on which we sought votes. People gave overwhelming votes to throw out the BJP government in the center so that the AIADMK government here is thrown out. Okay, that is the logic here. That is the same logic that is going to apply here.
To be fair, I have to give 10 seconds to Khushbu also. Yes.
Becoming the single largest party in the world. So it's there for people to see. Tamil Nadu is part of India. It's not away from India. It's not a different part of the country. It is part of the country. It's not a different country altogether.
Okay. So, What I can say is that the elections, everyone's different. Every state believes that their people are different. But of course, there is a national framework. What I can say is that listening to all of you argue, election season is well and truly upon us. That is all that I know, that I can say with any certainty. The DMK Congress alliance is something to watch out for very, very carefully. That is something I think, as Mr. Radhakrishnan said, Saravanan, we'll wait for you to share details of whether the Congress chief did indeed break down in tears and how many seats it ends at. And the Sasikala exit, what happens to the AIADMK is also something to watch out for. And we hope the next time the AIADMK person isn't so scared of speaking about Sasikala. Khushbu, Sumanth, Saravanan and Radhakrishnan, thank you. And to our audience, thank you. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Goodbye. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.